Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get me out. Let me get me out of the way here. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition. See you in the morning. I am, of course, your host. Let me make sure I can hear me. Let me see here. I'm doing the DJ style. One headphone up. That's when you know the DJ was about to start rocking. You're like, oh, the DJ only got one headphone. It's about to be great. Welcome to a new edition of See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. So excited to be in the building with y'all today, man. If you don't know what See You in the Morning is, you just stumbled across this show. It is my horrible idea to wake up every morning and just give y'all way too much of my personal business. Put too much out there in the streets. Just go too far. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just doing too much. But I'm excited to be here with you. If it's your first time hearing this, you're about to experience something so cold. If you've been here before and you found it not robbery to come back again and watch, I appreciate it because you could have been anywhere in the world. But you chose to be here with me. It means a lot to me. If you're not familiar with this show, if there was a GPS for this show, the only thing that you'll notice is that the GPS will yell out, turn left. That's about the only thing that's going to happen on this show. That's guaranteed to happen. It's a few left turns. We'll be going straight for a while, and then we'll be like, turn left. And then we'll turn left again. And then we'll get back on the straight and narrow. It's going to be a wild ride. Just buckle up. And it might not even be that wild today. I say that, and today may be the tamest show of all shows. It may just be the tamest of all shows. Now, the only thing that you can count on happening on this show is me speaking to the people who speak to me. If I ain't sleep with you, I'm going to speak with you. So let me go ahead and get that on out the way, man. And the first three people that speak get the M&M and M&Ms, the morning mythical medal. So let me go ahead and get those out this morning and make that work. With the bronze medal this morning, it goes to Lisa Bazemore Bishop. I have a date with Lisa. Good morning, Lisa. In the silver is Lynette Smith, the dance machine. Good morning. And going gold, Denzel Glover. Denzel Gold Glover. Huh? Denzel Gold Glover. I think he's on the street right now. So shout outs Denzel with the gold, Lynette with the silver, and Lisa with the bronze, and almost getting the medal. The aluminum fourth goes to TT, Crystal, Tiniest, Hasty, Panel. Also, here's Pranita. Good morning. Z, you're not on time. I just started late. But you can't be late if I start before 8. That's all I know. Good morning, Z. I started late just so you could be on time. That was my thing. The future clerk of court, Yolanda Boyd Deutscher. Good morning. Melissa Coulter. Good morning. Wilberta, Carmen, Patricia, Breeze in the building. Kim Cat, Starris. Good morning. Keith, IDA, Steve, Tony Fogel. I meant to talk to you, Tony. You talked to me about a beach house. We got to discuss that again because that'll be part of my weekend wrap up. Michelle McKinney, M&M is up here. Christine, good morning, Christine. Letitia's in the building. Z, you didn't get M&M, so I don't know what you're doing. Natasha, good morning. Dolores, good morning. And my good friend Tam. Tam. Oh, Tam. Tam. Dum dum diddy. Lazaria Marsh, good morning. Good morning to everybody that's in the building today. You know how Mondays start? We always start the Mondays off by going with the weekend wrap up. Just kind of a wrap up of what I did with my weekend, how my weekend went, what I got into. Okay, Tony, I got it. I don't even know where it is, Tony. I mean, that's why I wasn't trying to throw that out there publicly. I just was, but okay. But let me know. So got a couple of people. Leslie, good morning, from the world famous Mosberth family. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do my weekend wrap up, but I want to do this, just give y'all a piece of Portsmouth history. Good morning, James. Leslie Faye Goodrich Mosberth. That, and I think that's the proper way to say it. But never in the history of America, I think, has there been a divide in pronunciation along racial lines like it is with Leslie Faye Goodrich Mosberth's last name. If you're familiar with the Portsmouth region, there was a staple in the Portsmouth community. I think one of the places that we still sing, "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye," Mosberth Chicken. It was one of the most famous places. There was a giant chicken on the sign that made it special. It was probably it was out of the discussion. There was two chicken places that Portsmouth had that stood out from all the rest. It stood out from all the rest. Stood out from all the rest. There was no KFC, Hardee's. You had all those chain places, but there were two very special locations. It was Golden Skillet and Mosberth. Those are two of the most famous places to eat in this area. Mosberth was amazing. What's going on? What's going on, Roy? What's going on, April? Now, what made Mosberth special? They had their own recipe for the chicken. So did Golden Skillet. Mosberth, you could tell what it was by there. They made their own hot sauce. The hot sauce was on a level that no other hot sauce was ever able to reach. There was times where you got chicken just to get hot sauce. They kept it on the counter. You were able to liberally put hot sauce on whatever you wanted to. You could take as much hot sauce. The fries were amazing. The hush puppies were glorious. It was just a restaurant that couldn't be touched. The gizzards, amazing. Livers, gizzards, the barbecue sandwiches. Right, I made myself hungry just thinking about all the majesty of that place. What I thought was amazing, though, was depending on who you talk to, that one restaurant had two names. In the Mayo community, that restaurant had one name. And in the barbecue sauce community, it had a completely different name. It was run by old ladies that felt like they were your aunties and your grandmamas. That's who ran the front counter. It was a special place. You couldn't eat inside. You had to take it out. But in the two communities, one restaurant, two names. I remember as a young boy, I used to have a job, my very first real job. I worked at a place called Girls Inc. I was a camp counselor for the summer. And when I was in there, all of the higher ups, my management was all of a Mayo persuasion. We as workers were all barbecue workers, and the kids were a mixture of both barbecue and it was a Chick-fil-A group. And I remember one time we had got our first check. We had made some money. And so on lunch that next Monday, it was myself, a young man named Jermaine, and a young man named Reggie. We all worked there. And we were within walking distance of that establishment. And so we went over and we grabbed some chicken one day for lunch, some hush puppies. And the rest of the staff had never been to the particular restaurant, and I bought hush puppies for everybody. I was balling on a budget at that time. I was able to ball out. I had nothing else to lose. I just got my first check. I think I was making $4.25 an hour. And when you make that kind of money, you can do all kinds of things. And the staff was amazed. The restaurant had been there for years. They had been working right there, and had never been over. So from that point on, they insisted that we would go to the restaurant called Mosberth's. And it was shocking to me because I never heard the TH pronounced in Mosberth. I played baseball in Charles Pete, and they had sponsored a baseball team in Charles Pete. I've been in the African-American community my whole life, and that place was called Mosbury. How we turned that TH into a RY, beyond me. That place was called Mosbury. It was until I was a much older man that I heard that place actually pronounced correctly with a TH, Mosberth. I don't know why we in the community refused to pronounce that TH, but we just wouldn't. And I realized that Mosbury was really just them speaking. You look, Wendy said Mosberg. There was no G anywhere to be found. Mosberg, Mosbury, none of those were right. It lead me to think about the fact that if you were to take the letters P-O-R-T and S, that spells ports. It's always has, always will. But if you were to take the letters M-O-U-T-H, only in this region does M-O-U-T-H spell muff. Only here does it smell muff. Look, Sharonda said births, Berg, Buff. Nobody said it correct. Yonka said Mosbury. Nobody said it correctly. Not in the barbecue community. Here, it was indicative in a city that can spell M-O-U-T-H and make that spell muff. This place is clearly Portsmouth. I can tell when someone's not from here when they say it right. Someone comes up to me and says Portsmouth, I'm like, you're an out-of-towner. Just like the city directly across the water from us. If you don't cuss when you say Norfolk, I know you're not from here. If you don't cuss at the end, if you don't sleep, nor eat, nor... That's it. It is actually the mouth of the port. It's not the muff of the port. No one would ever say, I'm right there at the muff of the port. Put that food in your muff. Ooh, wait a minute. That's a completely different area. They say Port Smith in England. And I can almost go with that because it's an English. But they would never say we're going down to the myth. Put this food in your myth. Delisa, it's not Norfolk. It is not in any way. Delisa, if you're calling it Norfolk, you didn't grow up here. Now Terry is name dropping. I never said Norfolk. No, sir. I honestly say Norfolk. As President Obama. I know Obama said it right because he is not from here. He doesn't know any better. He don't know how to say it right. You got to say it wrong to say it right. You got to say it wrong to say it right. I stand on that. I guarantee it. My weekend in review, Friday, easy day, lazy day. Didn't do a whole lot on Friday. Saturday began for me early. I began by doing what I believe is one of the premier events in the area, the 900 Men Breakfast. And at that breakfast, they awarded 10 $1,500 scholarships. Well, I apologize, 9 $1,500 scholarships to deserving young men from the Hampton Roads area and 1 $2,500 scholarships. It was a wonderful event. There was not 900 men there. Ladies, though, next year is the second Saturday in April every year. Ladies, if you're looking for enterprising, well-to-do, community-oriented men, this is your chance. Go to this breakfast. They have it every year. You can buy a ticket. Ladies, y'all can come on out there and get it. If you got a senior, if you got a son that's a senior, go ahead and put him out there. I was in some high cotton. I was with State Senator Aaron Rouse and City Councilman Don Carey and famous basketball coach, state championship winning basketball coach Darren Sanderlin. There was a lot of big names in the building. Aaron Rouse deflated my dreams. I've never had my dreams deflated like I did on that morning. I don't know if y'all know who Aaron Rouse is. Aaron Rouse is a former safety, played football for Virginia Tech. Oh yeah, Z, ladies are in. There's lots of ladies there. He played football for Virginia Tech, played some professional football for the Green Bay Packers and Arizona Cardinals. Due to a injury after a car accident, he was cut by the Cardinals, was told that he wasn't good enough to continue playing. This is where he crushed my dreams. I stood next to Aaron, who's now well outside of his playing days, his playing shape. And he stood next to me and cast a shadow over me. I looked up to him. I was like, oh, this is what it is, huh? And he wasn't a lineman when he was playing football. He didn't play linebacker. He was a safety, considered one of the smaller guys on the field. And as I looked up, even in a suit, this man was large, chiseled, muscles bulging, shoulders broad as the day. I told him I now realize I would have never made it to the NFL. Sure, as a kid, I thought I had a chance. Even at high school, I was like, I was probably good enough. But after seeing this man in person and not being able to look into his eyes, after gazing into the nipples of another man, I looked him nipple to eye and I realized I wouldn't have been able to do it. It wasn't for me. I did the right thing. I made the right career move. Then as I looked at this dauntingly large man, I realized I also didn't want to get hit by anybody this size. That was not a good day. It's not going to be a good day if you're getting hit by a guy that big. Only ladies want to get hit by a man that big. And it's a completely different hit. The only ladies want a man hit that big hitting the hole. Not I, says me. No. Now, at this particular event, there was a performance by the Norfolk State University Concert Choir. And I'm going to tell you what, I've heard a lot of choirs sing. I grew up in the choir era of church. I grew up, I knew what choir was. This choir is top tier. I don't think there's a choir better. They are an amazing leadership to be able to see the discipline that they showed. They were all in dress code. Nobody was out of dress. They sang like angels, angelic. So I would like to give a big shout out to the choir department over at Norfolk State University for producing what I believe was one of the grandest choirs of all time. of all time. They sang A, B, and C selection and sang each magically, mystically, and gloriously. It was glorious. Amazing. Now, one of the things that came out, it was interesting. I was in that room and there was just a unification of all people getting in there, presenting those scholarships to those young men. There were things you just didn't know. There were Republicans there. And I was like, wow, these Republicans are of Negro persuasion. There was Democrats. There was Jew, Gentile alike. It was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. So I'm going to keep y'all posted next year. They've already asked me to host a banquet again next year, and I'm going to do so. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, it wasn't all roses. Hosting events is difficult because, a lot of times now I've been noticing when I do these fancier banquets, they don't just let me flow free. They give me a script to read. Now, these people who are writing these scripts are clearly geniuses. The words that they put together, the way that they are clearly way smarter than I am. Now, I never stick to the script. I never stick to the script. I'm always going off somewhere else. But I do the script. I hosted one for Starbase. The young lady who wrote that script, she has the most immaculate vocabulary I have ever heard. And I had to read those words out. It's the same thing. It's a lot of pressure when I'm reading those scripts because I don't usually get them until the day of. I don't have time to practice it at home or go over it. I get the script, they slap it to me, and then I read it out. But sometimes there's things in the script that you can't even predict are going to happen. Terry Butler was there. He can attest to the awkwardness of being a host that sometimes doesn't stick to the script. I was asked to ask each of the sponsors of scholarships to stand when I called their name. If you had a representative to stand and call your name, the casino was there, and Truist. No, not Truist. Town Bank. All of them were there. I had them all stand up. Truist. There was CLP Financial Group, and someone stood from there. There was a lots of different individuals, and then there were individuals who did it. I'm just reading the script. And there came a family, a husband and wife team. Their name was spelled McKie. To me, that is called McKie. McKie is McKie, in my opinion. McKie. But I was wrong. It was not pronounced McKie. It was pronounced Mackey. Tomato. There was no A in there. How did I know it was Mac? But it was Mackey. Now, normally I would have my ink pen with me and write it down phonetically so I say it right the rest of the times, but I didn't do that. I tore that name up each time. But that's not where I had the most embarrassing moment I think I've had on stage in a long time. I can't remember the first names of the Mackey family, but I'll just to move on with the story. It was Linda and James Mackey. And I said, Linda and James Mackey, and I asked Linda and James to please stand. And I saw Linda and she stood. And Linda stood proud, tall. A beautiful effervescence flowed with her. She stood and waved to the audience. And I looked around her table, and it seemed to be all women. And she sat down. And I said, Linda, what you do? You left James at home? And most of the time when I make those kinds of comments about married couples, people chuckle immediately. But I asked her if she left James at home, and no one laughed. In fact, necklaces were grabbed. Pearls were clutched. As the pastor beside me said, James is deceased. I was like, oh no. There was no mention in the program of James being deceased. There was nothing. Nobody told me the man was gone. Nobody told me the man was gone. Wait, which Will Johnson is that that's in the building? Is that my man Will? Hey, Will Johnson, if that's my man Will, also in Churchy. If you're in Portsmouth, this Saturday at Roger Brown's, he has an amazing event called Choir Rehearsal with Friends. Y'all come out and check Choir Rehearsal out with Friends. My man Will Johnson. Will, I got a show that day. I don't know if I can come, but I am gonna try to come over and say what up to you at least. That's just another one. That would be me putting my foot in my mouth again if that's not the right Will Johnson. But I think it's that Will Johnson. But if it's not, I can't really see your face on the thing. When I see your face, it's not a thing that I would change. He's got an amazing concept called Choir Rehearsal Friend. He just gets lots of people together and they basically have choir rehearsal. It is the correct Will. What up, Will? My main Will. It's me. I mean, you can't prove that it's you. I mean, it could be somebody doing identity theft, but I was able to go with Will. Will is also in Churchy, so if you get a chance to watch Churchy, Will is in Churchy. He has one of my favorite scenes in Churchy. I've toured with the man. We've done shows together. He's saved in real life. So if you get a chance to go to Choir Rehearsal with Friends, it's gonna be great. Terry, he's gonna get all the people. They're gonna come into Roger Brown's and sing glorious songs of Jesus's and drink liquor. So it'll be great. It'll be really good. It'll be good. Like the first few songs will be great, but the more that they drink, the better they get. So Will, I'm gonna try to come holler at you because I do have a show on Saturday. But if I get to the door and they act like Will says he doesn't know you, it's gonna be some issues. And he ain't gonna lie to you, it's gonna be some problems. But yeah, so back to this program. I don't think I was at fault for calling out the dead man. I didn't know he was dead. Nobody ever put in there the late. That's what it should have said. It should have been like the late James and Tanya John. Like something should have told me he was gone in the program. Somebody should have been like, I truly had a ain't nobody told me nothing moment. That man was gone from here. It didn't say the James Memorial Scholarship, nothing. So either she got to go so that I can know next year and it can be memorial or something. I'm just telling you, I was okay. Thank you, Terry. But you're gonna make it worse if I say his name was Haywood and it won't Haywood. Now I got to go back and find the program. That was tough. I was so traumatized. I was so traumatized by that event that I got in my car and I just drove. I just couldn't do anything else. Just got in my car and I just drove. And I ended up driving to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. When I was down there on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, there's two things I noticed. It's beautiful. The second thing I noticed, there wasn't a lot of mayo. I mean, there wasn't a lot of barbecue. It was lots of mayo everywhere. I met some family members down there. They just happened to be in the Outer Banks. I just called and I was like, hey, what can I do down here? As I drove through such glorious cities as Coinjock, Mayock. There was a lot of weird names. I almost turned around because as I was driving, I seen a colored school. And I was like, wait, not the colored school. Natasha, the choir rehearsal, he does it, but Will is not from this area. He is not from here. He travels throughout the country doing choir rehearsal with Friends. And so this is just a stop on the tour of Choir Rehearsal with Friends. It is a phenomenon all over the country. He just did Chicago. He had his second largest show in Chicago. He just did St. Louis, New York, Dallas, everywhere. 700 plus people in Atlanta at Choir Rehearsal with Friends. Philadelphia. It's crazy. He even allows tambourines. If you get to go, it is an amazing event. It started back in February. Washington D.C., Georgia, Houston, Texas, Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, and Portsmouth. And he should be right now. Portsmouth is the last listed date, but I believe he'll have more soon. But it is an amazing event. But the OBX, I went down there, and at least I was by myself. Now, I've never seen a city. Now, I know people claim that they are Portsmouth proud, but OBX proud is totally different. People who believe in the Outer Banks believe in the Outer Banks. You're going to have an OBX bumper sticker. Your license plate's going to start with OBX. You got it tatted on your chest like Thug Life. But I was there and I realized I was in a completely different world. I didn't know where I was at. I passed a colored school. I almost turned around. But I met my family at a place, Handsome Harry's, or I forget the name of it. It was a nice restaurant. They talked about how good the restaurant was, how great the blueberry dessert was at this place. I've been me when we parted ways. I felt the hunger in my stomach and I felt like I needed something to eat. I drove by. Tony, you were there? Everybody was there. I was there. Next time, Tony, I'm gonna give you a call. I spoke on you, Tony, but I didn't know that you were there. That's crazy. I ended up going to a restaurant and again showing same thing, different wording in different communities. I went down there and I realized the same food in the Mayo community is called something completely different in the barbecue community. In the barbecue community, they call it soul food. In the Mayo community, they call it comfort food. Comfort food versus soul food. Same food, different wording. I was driving up the street and I saw a place which caught my eye. The name of the place was The Pony and the Boat. The Pony and the Boat. I said, for creativity alone, I've got to come in here and see what this place is about. It was The Pony and the Boat comfort food. The Pony and the Boat. I was surprised. I was shocked. I said, not a pony and a boat. Who puts those two things together? The Pony and the Boat was the name of the place. I had to go check it out. I had to go check out A Pony and a Boat together. It's sponsored by a song. They got the name from a song. And then the man said, if I had a boat, I'd put a pony on it. That's basically what it said. It wasn't the song by the great Negro poet Genuine, but Loud Love It. He has a song about a pony and a boat. So I went in there, and let me tell y'all something. We've got to get over our misconceptions about what people can and cannot do. We got to get over our misconceptions. Now, I have been trying to eat healthier. Let me show you what a typical breakfast of mine looks like. This is what a typical breakfast of mine looks like. Y'all, please forgive the paper and plastic. Y'all don't live here to wash these dishes. So save your judgment. If you're not going to come out here and wash these dishes, then I don't need to hear what you have to say about my paper and plastic. I'm all in on paper and plastic. I think it's a beautiful thing. If you're not going to wash these dishes, shut your mouth. Judge your Uncle Bernice. Okay? This is what my typical breakfast is. I was so distraught about the way that I talked about that man who's no longer with us, who's at that big home in the sky, that I ordered some cornbread. Now, I knew this was a Mayo restaurant. I figured they can't do cornbread right. They're not going to be able to do cornbread. What I received was cornbread worthy of the grand movie Life. I was given as a side cornbread straight from the Green Mile. Y'all don't believe me? Look at these pieces of cornbread. You can't tell me that cornbread does not come with just a little bit of struggle in it. It was delicious and delectable. Had a hint of vanilla in it. It was the most delicious cornbread I'd ever had. But that was the cornbreadiest cornbread ever. Now, me personally, I don't like corn in my cornbread. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. I now understand how people feel like they don't like bananas in their banana pudding. Because if I bite into your cornbread and I get a kernel of corn, I'm throwing the cornbread at you. You're not saved. You don't know Jesus. That cornbread was delectable. It tasted like cake, Lisa. I don't know if corn cake is a thing, but that's what it tasted like. Corn cake. It was heavenly. Big shout outs to the Pony and the Boat for breaking down racial barriers through cornbread. I think if that cornbread had been around a long time ago, it would have broke down segregation. At that moment, I felt like I was home. I should have called Tony. Had I known, I'd have just went by Tony's house and pulled up some covers and went to sleep. That's the problem when you run away from your problems. It's the going back. They even had gas cheaper down there. It was like going through a time warp. I'd been here paying $3.45, $3.35, $3.50 for gas. I drove down there $3.07. Makes me want to drive down there to get gas all the time. The gas is going to be 30 to 40 cents cheaper per gallon. It's worth the drive. Lisa, I understand what you're saying. Fried cornbread is a completely different subject. Corn cakes, whatever. That's a completely different subject. When you making those, completely different. Wendy knows what she's talking about. Look at her talking language. What milepost are they at? I don't know which milepost that is. I didn't know what those meant at first, but they were great though. I don't even know if they register as a milepost. Let me look them up for you, Wendy. If you ever go down there, you can tell them I sent you, even though they have no idea who I am. The Pony and the Boat is at North Croatan Highway, and they don't even tell me a mile post. It was about a little thing that called itself a mall. It was right next door to a place called Trio. Lisa, that cornbread though change your life a little bit. Now, when you get those flat pancake pieces of cornbread, that's a different level of chunky. Your back fat got to be at a different place to enjoy that. But that's also delicious. When you add in cornbread and grease, that's different. That's a different level. Saturday, that was Saturday. That was my Saturday. Now, Sunday, I went out there. My son fancies himself to be a basketball athlete. He wants to play basketball. He's tall for his age. In fact, my son just turned 12, and at this point in time, we're about the same height. Delisa asked, "What did I eat with the cornbread?" Excellent question. I was trying to eat a bit healthier. I said, okay, I've had this cornbread. I can't let this moment, I can't let the fact that I mismentioned this man in his passing, I can't let that drive me to eat in a way that's going to have me meet him in heaven. So I try to go out and eat and still enjoy my meal and get something that seems healthier to eat, even in the comfort food place. So Delisa, I ended up having a chicken pot pie and Brussels sprouts. Chicken pot pie and Brussels sprouts. I figured a pot pie was just chicken and vegetables in that, and then the Brussels sprouts. And the Brussels sprouts, they did something different with them. They charred them. The Brussels sprouts was also delicious. Everything was delicious. Thank you for asking, Delisa. Thank you for caring enough to know what I wanted. It was great. I think I might have been a kid. I don't think I got all the way down into the essence of it. But it was delicious. Yep. So I had true comfort food. So Sunday, I was with my son. My son fancies himself to be a basketball player. He wants to play basketball, but he doesn't always want to put in the work necessary to play basketball. He doesn't always put the work in. So it can be difficult. He doesn't always put the work in. And I don't want to force him to put the work in. But I do know as a basketball player, you got to put your shots up. That's what made Kobe great. Kobe would shoot hundreds of shots per day. My son ain't shooting 100% shots per day. Not even shooting 100 shots a month. So I said to myself, how do I get my son to start shooting more shots? I don't own a basketball rim at my home. So I had to go old school with my son yesterday. And I don't even know if kids still have games that they play outside as kids. It seems the only thing that the kids today are playing outside is target practice. I had to come up with something for my son so that he could get his shots up without even knowing he was getting his shots up. I took my son outside and I played a game from my youth called curveball. Now, I don't know if all of y'all played curveball. Some of y'all probably grew up in areas that didn't have curbs. But curveball, oh, thank you, Wendy. Curveball is an amazing game. I don't know if y'all remember playing curveball as a kid, but what you do is each of you gets on a side of the street and you throw the ball at the curb. You pick a good little angle, and if you are able to hit the curb, you score a point. You get bonus points in curveball if you throw the ball over an oncoming vehicle. If a vehicle comes, you throw the ball over the car, and you still get that curb, you've now earned 2 points. 1 point for doing it regular, 2 points if you throw it over a moving vehicle. Now, I didn't trust my son's ability yet to get it over all the moving vehicles. But I was outside playing, and I seen a young lady come through. She stopped to speak. When she stopped to speak, I took that as my chance to get 2 points on them. I went ahead, was like, oh, 2 points. I could tell she knew the game because she looked at us. She said, oh, what y'all playing curveball? I was excited. It was like, yeah, we playing curveball. Now, Roy, you saying that's a P-Town game. Does no one play curveball in any other cities? Y'all let me know. Did anybody else grow up playing curveball? Hide and go get, I knew was a great game. I know that was international. I know they play hide and go get no matter where. Freeze tag, cartoon tag. Cartoon tag was a great game. I miss childhood games like that. Freeze tag. Freeze tag was the first game. A lot of the games we played as kids told you about life. Thank you, Delisa. They say my sons love playing curveball in Chesapeake. People say I only heard of it. We played it in Berkeley. I think curveball was a game of low income. And plus you had to have curves. And now I don't know if it's Curb or Curb. I think it's Curb with a B. Curb. It's a great game. I miss having childhood games that told you about life. Faquita, Curb, not Curve, Curb. Unless you call the curve the curve. I miss games that told you about life. Freeze Tag was the first game that told you who your friends were, who you could depend on as a kid. Freeze Tag told you who you could depend on as a kid. If you're not familiar with Freeze Tag was a game where somebody was it. You played tag, but if you got tagged, you were just frozen in place. You couldn't get unfrozen until another participant playing the game that wasn't it tagged you and gave you your freedom. Freeze Tag, you learn quickly who you could trust, who would be there for you in a tight situation. There was no greater love than someone sacrificing themselves. I know that we talk about God sacrificing his son, but for us as kids, there was no greater love than someone sacrificing themselves, getting tagged as they unfroze you. When you had a friend that would not let you stay frozen, they saw you get frozen and they made it their business to come back and unfreeze you. That was true friendship. You knew that was somebody you were going to be able to depend on for life. This is a friend that's going to stick to me like no other. Freeze Tag told you, you knew who your friends were through Freeze Tag. If you were to look back over your life, the people who are always there for you in Freeze Tag are probably still always there for you. Freeze Tag friends never fail. Never fail. This is a fact of life. Freeze Tag friends never fail. Cartoon Tag was the first game that really kept you on your P's and Q's on what was on television. If you ever play Cartoon Tag, if you got tagged in Cartoon Tag, you had to yell out a cartoon. You couldn't use one somebody else already used. That would get you untagged. Somebody come text you, Scooby-Doo. Whoo, safe. Somebody come up and tag your Jetsons. Whoo. Can't play Cartoon Tag now because they ain't got no cartoons. Hide and go get. You already could tell through hide and go get who your freaks was going to be. Look back on your life and see who played hide and go get. First of all, the people who played hide and go get was already on a level of freakiness. That was already kind of a freaky game. But look back over your hide and go get players and see who was the people who was always getting got. Whoever was the one who always got found in hide and go get probably got at least 7 kids by now. They was always out there. Let me see you pop that. They was out there. Those are your twerk champions. You always had somebody in hide and go get with low self-esteem who always jumped out there. They didn't hide at all. It was really just come and get me. And if you was it, you had to make some conscious decisions. Hide and go get could hurt your feelings too if you was it. Certain people, the hiding places became really good. I remember if I was ever it and hide and go get, people would build bunkers, underground buildings. They would made sure they weren't fine. Took that and covered themselves up in mud so that you couldn't catch their heat signature. Because nobody wanted to be got by me. I wasn't gettable. Nobody wanted to get got by me. And you had the other guys who played the game And people barely hid. They be like, they be counting to 10, the person be hiding. I'm hiding. You just holding up a leaf. Self-esteem on zero. Do the hide and go get. Red light, green light. Red light, green light showed you who had control issues. The two games that showed you who was gonna be control issue people throughout life, red light, green light, and Mother May I. Mother May I, heartbreaking. You could tell people who were gonna be fair. You could tell the leadership qualities of people in Mother May I. And you could always tell who was close to who. You were never gonna beat two friends in Mother May I. This is not gonna happen. You got two friends? It's not happening. If Tasha, and I'm gonna use the actual names of two very good friends that I know, Tasha and Toya were playing Mother May I together, you won't win it. If Tasha was Mother, you won't win it. Because Toya's May I was always gonna be ridiculous. Take 47 big steps. Mother May I? Yes, you may. Here I go. Can I take 2 baby steps? No, you may not. Wait, why? Why can't I make the 2 baby steps? You clearly are rigging the game for your friend to win. You can't win. Now, red light, green light, you could win either way. It didn't matter who was doing the red. It didn't matter who was doing it. Shatana said that was the dumbest game ever. It didn't matter who was doing red light, green light. You could always win red light, green light if you just had the ability to not move. You couldn't rig red light, green light. But Mother May I, rigged. It was not a fair game. Mother May I was not a fair game. Let's get into this news, weather, and sports, then we get out of here. In news today, apparently, Donald Trump goes on trial today. So I guess that means something. In sports, the Masters just ended, and the NBA season just ended. So that was great. Some guy named Scheffler won the Masters. Apparently he was dominant and he won. So big shout outs to Mr. Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler, on winning the Masters. In the NBA, then now you have the playoffs. Everybody's in. I don't even know why they have a regular season in the NBA if you're gonna let 20 of the 32 teams make the playoffs. You just let everybody in. You let everybody into the playoffs. It's dumb. So now they have a play-in tournament for the playoffs. So of course the playoffs this year are going to be the Boston Celtics, who have played the best all year long. It starts tomorrow with the Lakers versus the Pelicans and the Warriors versus the Kings. Those are the play-in games. If you win those games, you still got to play again to actually find out where you play in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. Still got to play again. So the 10 seed plays the 9 seed. If they win, they go on, and then they're in the playoff. Oh, well, the 8 seed plays the 7 seed. So you win that game, you automatically in the playoffs. But if you lose, you get a second chance by playing the winner of the 9 versus 10. It's really ridiculous. But that's how the play-in tournament works. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. I'm looking at a Nuggets versus Celtics, Boston versus Denver for in the finals, and I still think the Boston Celtics win it all. Rich say more games, more money. I guess that's what it is. But it just makes no sense to me. It is screaming participation trophy. You ask me, cut the NBA down, less than 82 games. Let maybe like 8 teams make the playoffs. Let them fight it out. It's 30 teams in the NBA. Let them fight it out. 30 or 32. Fight it out. Fight it out. That's what I want to see y'all do. I want to see y'all only the best make the playoffs. Too many people making the playoffs. Too many. Let's give it a word of the day. Don't forget Choir Rehearsal with Friends. I think it might be sold out, but it's in Portsmouth. Y'all can just look up Choir Rehearsal with Friends. My man Will Johnson is there. This Saturday, I am at the FFX Fun Family Excitement Theater on the Virginia Beach Oceanfront, 8 o'clock. I am opening for comedian Brad Stein, who is known as God's Comic. So I'll be down there opening for God's Comic. If he's God's Comic, I'm not exactly sure who I would be considered. But yeah, so God's Comic is down there. I don't know what I would be considered, but I'm opening for God's Comic. So that's going on this weekend, Virginia Beach at the FFX Theater on the oceanfront. A beautiful facility if you've ever been. It's really great. That's going on this weekend. That's what I got going on this weekend. We had a great time with the I gotta let y'all keep y'all up to date on the stuff that y'all doing. I still got some detergent in my foyer or foyer if you're French that I need to get rid of. Thank y'all so much for everyone who helped with the detergent drive. We got them probably about 4 to 5 months worth of detergent. She told me how much detergent that they used. I sat there and looked. So maybe about 4 to 5 months of detergent is what we were able to get for them. So thank y'all again for all of your donations of detergent. Our next one is going to be giveaway is going to be in June. When I talked to her, she told me that one of their big needs now is men's deodorant and hand soap. I froze. IT. Why are you doing this to me, IT? I didn't even know what had happened. Nobody told me nothing. Just like when that man passed away, nobody told me nothing. I didn't even know I had froze. But hold on, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Like I said I would. Everything is gonna be all right. I'm coming back. I'm back. I told y'all I would be back. All right, so now I'm back. Let me kick me off. Yeah, kick me off. So big shout out to that. I wanted to show y'all the pictures from there. So we may or may not get to those, but thanks everybody who participated. Y'all are amazing. Y'all make things great. So we did pretty good. I think we got probably about somewhere between $300 and $400 worth of deodorant. Detergent. When you just look at the pure numbers, detergent costs a lot more than bottled water. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Bottled detergent and bottled water are not in the same price range. So when everybody gave to the water drive, like if you gave $10 to the water drive, that was 3-4 cases of water. Whereas if you gave $10 to the detergent drive, that was half a bottle of detergent. So it worked out well though, because they're going to be able to use it for months, and that helps free up things. Their budget is kind of dependent upon the city and donations from other people. So when we're able to do something like that, that lets them move their money from one thing to another. Like now that money they don't have to use. So like they don't have to buy water pretty much it looks like for a while. They'll probably be able to get through the summer with the water. That is what I'm being told. So hopefully we'll be able to do the same as far as the detergent is concerned. So thank you guys for all that you do. Y'all guys are special. And I try not to be noticed at all with this stuff. I try to be like, I ain't did nothing. Well, Lord, I got a pre-freeze. This is crazy. My computer's working double time to be a hater today. It's frozen before I even got into the show. So that was great. So let me get out of here and go get the word of the day. But just be prepared. Men's deodorant and hand soap. They were like, as long as it's antibacterial, we're gonna be able to do it. So that's gonna be our push for June. Is the hand soap. And the program really needs it. It's called Portsmouth Volunteers for the Homeless. They really, really need the support from the community. I was able to talk to the director of Portsmouth Volunteers of the Homeless, and she shared with me some of the obstacles that she has faced. And even in a program as great as that, even with something that you think, oh, there's no way that the city is going to give them pushback. There's no way that the city's not going to allow them to have whatever it is that they want or whatever they need. Believe me, there are people in the city who don't see the value of that program, who don't feel as though it's important to support the less fortunate. And so they don't always help in that way. So when we're able to come in and help, we're really doing a service to the program. So thank you guys so much for all that y'all do. I want to try to see if I can give y'all a picture of me turning the stuff in, because I also want to always be accountable. I don't want nobody thinking I'm doing nothing with the money I ain't supposed to be doing. Y'all see strippers a lot happier than they normally are. It's not because I took the money down there, but that was me smiling just awkwardly. And look at all that detergent in there. That's a lot of detergent. And I still got a couple of more that had got ordered and got here late. So I'll be taking those over there today. So thank y'all so much for all of that. Now let's get to our word of the day, and then I'll get out of here. Stop rambling and talking to y'all in all kinds of ways. Today's word of the day is purloin. Now, even though purloin sounds like a cut of pork, purloin is to take something that belongs to somebody else. That is to steal it. Purloin is much more formal sounding than steal, but is often, though not always, encountered in humorous contexts, suggesting that the theft is not serious. The puppy managed to purloin a few cookies from the plate when no one was looking. The studio stepped up security, fearing that someone might attempt to purloin a copy of the script for the show's season finale. Purloin. Some of y'all families like the purloin. It's a different word for steal. I'm about to be using purloin all over the place. I'm like, I don't steal, I purloin. It sounds classier when you purloin than it does when you steal. Purloining sounds classier than stealing. All right, I'm out, man. Be classy, man. Purloin some time for yourself today. Purloin some joy for yourself today. I'm all for it today. Purloin something just for you. Purloin yourself some joy, some happiness. Try to find a moment, man, just for yourself, man. Try to find a way. We master our Monday so the rest of the week knows it doesn't stand a chance against us. I'm going to get with you, Wendy, for the basketball goal so the rest of the week knows it doesn't stand a chance. It can't defeat you. It has no way of doing so. Get out there and give your all today. You can do it. I feel that you can. Master this Monday, man. Make somebody feel good today, even if that somebody just happens to be yourself. Remember, I've got Laugh While It's Still Legal. That is this Saturday. Choir rehearsal with friends this Saturday is going to be great. Today's tax day is the 15th. Turn your taxes in. Get your taxes done. Don't try to purloin money from the government. All right. Outside of that, man, I'm out, man. Y'all have a magnificent Monday. I think that's what somebody told me. Magnificent Monday. Yeah, have one of those. All right. I'm out. Love y'all. Peace.
Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again.